Oh, man. You know what? I can't say I'm surprised. This had trap game written all over it. All you Eagles fans, though, you guys told me I was crazy, but shit happens. This is the NFL. This is what happens in the NFL. Mike Owens is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Again, I am not surprised. I'm just not. Ryan Mathews, though, I mean, hey, you hold on to that ball, we win the game, but, put the ball in the right hand, Pop Warner kind of shit, but whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give you credit for this one. You definitely called this one. You said it was a trap game. We were going to have trouble in it. I thought that we were going to, be able to handle them a little bit more easily. I thought the way that we played in the second half was going to be the way that we were going to play throughout the game. But we really struggled there in the first half. And, our defense was just horrific in the first half. And, it allowed the Lions to rack up 21 points on us. And in the end, it just, came back to bite us in the ass. So this was really, it was just a typical trap game. And Eagles went into Detroit. They were patting themselves on the back after starting the season 3-0. And, well, the Lions really handed it to us in the beginning of the game. We made the right adjustments, but it wasn't enough because we fell behind by too much.
Yeah. I don't want to hear anybody blaming Ryan Mathews. I don't want to hear anybody blaming the play calls. When you commit 14 fucking penalties and when you allow 3 touchdown drives on Detroit's 3 only possessions in the first half, that's why they lost this game. It's not Ryan Mathews. This game was just frustrating the whole fucking day. Just like you're watching this game, and right when you think the Eagles finally have the momentum on their side, Caleb Sturgis finally puts them in front, they fucking lose.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all you could do is shake your head on this one. I mean, it's a tough loss. It's not devastating because we started out 3-0, so now we're 3-1. But it's just the fact that we should have had this game, and you just got to put this game on really Schwartz and the defense because they were the ones that were asleep in the first half of this game. They were still on the bye week in the first half, and them not being to wake up until the second half, it just really hurt us the entire game. We were able to come back, but in the end, it was just too many mistakes, like you said, especially the penalties that ended up hurting us.
Yeah. And, a lot of people want to blame the referees as well. They weren't great or anything, but again, 199 yards in the first half, 17 first downs, 21 points on 3 possessions. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's why they lost this game. That is why they lost this game. I don't want to hear you guys blaming Ryan Mathews. There was a lot of reasons why they lost this game today. And you know what? They didn't deserve to win this fucking game.
No, we really didn't. And, people are going to say, oh, it's the Lions. This is a horrible loss. And, it's a National Football League because a team like the Eagles can go out 2 weeks ago and dominate a team like the Steelers, who are probably Super Bowl contenders at this point. But then they can go into Detroit and really just lay an egg in the first half like they did. And, that's why it's just a game of matchups. And initially, the Eagles didn't have the right matchups against the Lions offense. And, the Lions came in with a good game plan. And we did adjust, but it was too late. So got to give credit for the Lions for making the right calls. But, the Lions are a desperate team.
Yeah.
And they played like it. So you got to give credit to them.
I hear the people say, well, they're losing the Lions, it's unacceptable and all that shit. Every good team in the NFL has a loss like this during the year. On the road to a bad team. This kind of stuff happens. And I'm not surprised by this. I am just not. This game went exactly how I thought it would. And you know what? I really did think the Eagles were going to pull it off there at the end, but they didn't. But, I expected a slow start. And, with that slow start, I was really curious to see how Carson Wentz would handle that adversity. And you know what? Wentz played spectacularly today. He was amazing. He was unbelievable. The throw there to Matthews, he scrambles to his right, looks a little bit like that 73-yarder to Darren Sproles a little bit. He had a 3rd and 6 conversion to Matthews as well. I mean, that was cold-blooded. That was huge. Got that one as well. I mean, he had himself a really nice game. Unfortunate there at the end, threw his first interception of the season there. Darius Slay, good coverage on Aguilar, whether that was a hold, PI, whatever, it wasn't called. What are your thoughts on Wentz today?
Yeah, you got to give Wentz a lot of credit. If anything, what this game showed me is that we should feel confident about this offense with Wentz leading it because, he was really able to bring this team back in the second half. He gave us the lead there for a little bit. We weren't able to hold on to the end because of the Matthews fumble, but the one play you just mentioned, that the 3rd down pass to Jordan Matthews to get the first down late in the game, if Ryan Matthews is able to hold on to that ball and then we punt the ball away and the defense is able to hold, we're all talking about that 3rd down throw by Wentz to really ice the game. Unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about that because of the Matthews fumble, but I think that in this game, Wentz he showed a lot of poise, and he showed that, he can lead this team. This guy, people have to remember that this is Wentz's 4th NFL game. And he is playing like a 10-year veteran right now, just the way he's handling himself. So I think, coming out of this game, you got to be disappointed in the defense and the penalties, but I think that you have to be impressed with Wentz, and, that's key going forward.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that if Matthews holds on to the ball there, we would have won because we were shutting the Lions down the second half. They had, 2 first downs prior to that last drive there? So they weren't doing anything in the second half. What they were doing in the first half is that they were really controlling the edges in the running game. They were just gashing the birds there on the edges. And they clamped down in the second half. They started playing that a lot better, so they started setting the edge a lot more. So they were having trouble with that. They were really having a lot of trouble with Theo Riddick coming out of the backfield. Michael Kendricks, Jesus fucking Christ. I swear to God, he misses more tackles than he makes these days. Someone take that contract away from him.
Can we please? Jeez. He's just been a big disappointment. And, another thing, too, that can't be overlooked is that Bradham didn't play in the first half because of the incident that he had at the airport. And you could see, without Bradham in the lineup, there's definitely a drop-off. So, it just shows the difference that Bradham is making among the linebackers. So, like you were saying, Theo Riddick, that first half, he was just causing us so many problems, and it was so frustrating to watch.
All right, let me ask you a question. Doug Peterson, it's 3rd and 2. Ryan Matthews obviously ran the ball there. Do you think they should have thrown it? Because I heard a lot of that too, that it was, they were too conservative there.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous that people, think that they should throw the ball there. I think that most of the coaches in this league would have run the ball in that situation because it's the right move to make. You throw the ball, you get an incomplete pass, clock stops. Worst case scenario, you throw an interception, pick 6 for a touchdown, or they just get an interception, then they're already in field goal range. So, the Eagles made the right call. You got to run the ball in that situation, and you expect your running back to hold on to the ball. So can't really blame Peterson on that. I thought that Peterson actually called a pretty good game. I think that the way he's utilizing Sproles is clutch right now, because Sproles, he's not necessarily a runner at this point in his career, but the play calls that Peterson is making is allowing Sproles to really utilize his quickness.
It's funny that people were complaining about that 3rd and 2, but they weren't complaining about another 3rd and 2 when Darren Sproles easily picked up a first down off the left side because Alan Barbary and Brandon Brooks paved a huge hole for him, a huge alley. So it's not surprising that they would run the ball on 3rd and 2. Come on. And I actually like the way he called that last drive, because if you remember, the first play was actually a screen to Huff, so he threw the ball. And then there was the 3rd and 6 with Wentz, and he threw a fucking rocket. So I have no complaints from Doug Peterson and his play calling. That's it's just easy to second guess after the fact, and that's just what all this is about.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing to this point that I don't like with Doug Peterson's play call is these wide receiver screen passes to Josh Huff. I mean, it's starting to get to the point where it's like the swing pass with Chip Kelly to DeMarco Murray. You just know that it's not going to go anywhere. And then even after the Lions go down and score a touchdown to start the game, they kick the ball off. Huff can't even control the damn kickoff. I mean, this guy at this point, the only thing that Huff is really good at is those end arounds where he acts as a running back. I'm not a fan of these wide receiver screens to him. I wish we could just take that play out of the playbook, because it gets like 2 yards every time.
Yeah, no one complained about that 3rd and 2 either when Huff got the jet sweep for a first down. Typical Andy Reid type gadget play on 3rd down. And there was the other one. It was the 2nd and goal from the 1 yard line. They threw the ball. That was actually the one call I didn't like. I'm not a big fan of throwing a quick slant the 1 yard line. Just rather plunge it in from up the middle. But whatever, it worked. They scored a touchdown there. So just so many different things that happened in this game. Just so many different things that just frustrated me. And I got it out. I yelled.
Oh, yeah, you got to roar like a lion after this one. That's for sure. I
can't wait to see EDP's video. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to be epic. I think that, another thing we have to talk about is, for the first time, the Eagles really haven't had any problems with the play clock up to this point, or really had any game management problems. But this was the first time where they ran into that type of situation, and the announcers were being complete idiots, because they were really like blaming the play clock on Wentz. Well, Wentz is back there, clapping his hands a million times, calling for the ball. Not sure what Kelsey is doing. Apparently Kelsey, is still at the OD, just pounding beers, because he's not snapping the ball. So, I mean, those penalties have to be on Kelsey. There was like 3 or 4 seconds left on the play clock when Wentz started clapping. I don't know how Kelsey doesn't hear it. Obviously, the guy clapping right behind you is the guy that wants the ball snapped. So I put those on Kelsey, and especially in the second half, you really can't put it on Wentz, because he knows if he calls a timeout, it could be deadly, because Eagles needed those timeouts at the end of the game. So in those situations, sometimes you just have to take the penalty. But, yeah, really not a fan of Kelsey right now.
Are you fucking deaf, Jason? The fuck, man? Jesus. I'll tell you what, though. Wentz, though. So that first half, last drive of the first half, somehow the Eagles got 3 points. Penalties galore. It was like 3rd and 36, and he finds Ertz for, nice little gain, and they get a field goal out of it. And then right out the shoot of the second half, he leads them right down the field again. So, no complaints for Wentz. He was unbelievable again. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. If there is a silver lining coming out of this game, it is him. Because I wanted to see how he handled adversity. I wanted to see him playing from behind. And you know what? He killed it.
Well, he definitely killed it. I mean, he gets an A from me. He did everything that you want from a quarterback. He brought him back. I mean, he gave his team the lead, so he couldn't do much else. I mean, he handed the ball off to Matthews on their, final offensive snap, and well, not final offensive snap, but at the end of the game there, and he fumbles. So he can't do much more.
Yeah. You know who didn't get an A today? Mr. Nolan Carroll. Jesus Christ. You want to talk about getting picked on. Marvin Jones had a pair of quick slants on him. Anquan Bolden had a PI, got a PI off of him. Carroll is a guy that kind of struggles with quick, shifty type of wide receivers, which is exactly what Marvin Jones kind of is. And, the first couple weeks, week one, Carroll got to play some kind of deep vertical threats. Carroll's good at playing the deep ball. He saw it again against Pittsburgh. Plays the deep ball really well. So this was, the first time this year where he had to combat with more quickness, and he didn't fare well. So, like when you talk about each week presents different matchups, this is like an example of that. Because this is a weakness for Carroll, and it got exploited.
Yeah, well, apparently during the bye week, Carroll didn't give out enough hugs, because that's all he was doing today is just hugging the wide receivers. And like you said, he doesn't do well with the quickness at the line of scrimmage, and he was trying to combat that by hugging the wide receivers. And, well, I get the referees didn't like that too much, so he kept getting flagged. So it's just that, not a good day for Nolan Carroll. And then we even, we suffered some more injuries in the secondary. It looks like McKelvin left again with that hamstring injury, and then Ron Brooks left at one point. So we'll see the severity of those injuries. But, it looks like we're being, banged up again in the secondary.
Yeah, there's a guy named Eric Rowe. Probably shouldn't have traded, huh? Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have done that one. Okay. So Ron Brooks, I think he might have left with a cramp. I have to look at Twitter again. I think I saw cramp. So Ron Brooks, obviously. Yeah, so it's just that first half, man. Everything about it. And I'm watching this game, and it just brings me back to Turkey Day last year. Just everything about the first half. The only difference was that I didn't have a fucking turkey leg in my mouth. I wasn't mashing on fucking stuffing and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I hear you. It's, anymore, these trips to Detroit are not very nice to the Eagles. So, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But you know what? I did kind of say, like, Detroit, Washington, I thought we'd lose one of these two games. And, I lost to Detroit. I don't think they lose to Washington now. No fucking way.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's hope they don't. I mean, with Washington pulling out a big win today in Baltimore, the game against the Redskins becomes huge now. So Eagles are going to really have to come to play. We just can't have, that lapse on defense that we had in the first half today. We got to play the entire game because, you saw today, even if you play against a team that is not up to your talent level, they can beat you if you give them enough opportunities.
We talked about this, pre-show, in our preview show. How it looked like a huge mismatch on paper, because it kind of was. I mean, Lions had the worst defense on third down in terms of passer rating allowed, and the Eagles were 29th in third down. And what'd they go today? They went. Let's see if I can find it. They went 5 of 11 on third down today, so they actually got a lot of third downs. But everything was a mismatch on paper. But it's just sometimes you got to throw stats out the window, because this again, trap game written all over it. I mean, you thump the Steelers at home, and you have a bye week. Like, this really wasn't that surprising. It just wasn't to me. I don't know. Let's see. You know who I would have liked to see out there a little bit? Wendell Smallwood. He didn't get one carry.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising after the game that he had against the Steelers. I thought we would see a little bit more of him, but really with Ryan Matthews returning to action in full here, Smallwood was really the odd man out today. But going forward, it would be nice to see him a little bit more.
Yeah. You know what else we didn't really see today? The 3 tight end sets. I thought that was like a certainty that was going to happen because – I don't think Detroit would have been able to stop it, but we really didn't see it. Brent Celek really wasn't on the field that much.
Yeah, we didn't see much of the 3 tight end sets and really didn't get that much production from Ertz. I thought that this was going to be a game where Ertz was really going to dominate because of the mismatches that it would have created against their linebackers. But obviously, that wasn't in the game plan.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about DGB a little bit. First of all, had a vicious stiff arm on a 3rd down, but unfortunately couldn't come down with a kind of a jump ball situation. I know it's a tough catch, but you got to come down with that.
Yeah. No, I agree. He should have made that catch. But besides that, I like what I see from DGB. I think that each week he's getting better and better, and that's what you want to see from a guy that we really picked up late in the off season. You can't ask for much more right now from him, so it's good to see him playing the way he is, especially with his size and everything. It definitely presents a problem for defenses. So you got to be happy what you see from DGB today. He got close to a touchdown on the one play. He just ended up getting down to the 1 or 2 yard line.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at some of these stats. So Wentz finishes 25 of 33, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, on paper, that really doesn't look like that fantastic. But if you were watching the game, you'd realize that he played pretty well. Let's see. Man, all right. So Jordan Matthews 4 for 65. Ertz only had 3 for 37. Boy, and then Riddick fucking killed us.
Yeah, Riddick was a problem. He only ended up with 11 carries for 49 yards, but it was really the passing game too, where he got us. He had 6 receptions for 33 yards. And then he had those 2 receiving touchdowns. So we really weren't able to stop him, in the open field. And that just created a lot of problems, especially in the first half. At him along the edge, we just didn't have an answer for it. And, I got to give you credit because you said it. He was going to be the guy that was going to give us some problems because he's so shifty and quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Michael Kendricks, again, shit, man. You want to blame Ryan Matthews because it's late in the game? It's 3rd and 11. You could have stopped him for a 4-yard gain. You missed the tackle. Then all of a sudden it's a 4th and 1. They convert the 4th and 1, and they score a touchdown. So, it's like you want to blame this guy, you want to blame that guy, you want to blame that guy, but nobody's saying anything about Michael Kendricks. He sucks. I hate him. He tries to tackle fireflies when he's out on the field.
He's becoming quite frustrating, and he's almost turning into what Kiko Alonso was last year.
You're not kidding. Can we trade for his brother? Can we do that? Is that can we do that happen? Possibly. Yeah. Well, can we hit up Minnesota again? Figure out another trade.
Yeah, we already worked out a trade with them once, so maybe Howie Roseman can pull some magic out of his ass. But yeah, no, that will never happen. It's a shame. Kendricks played really well his rookie year, and ever since it's just been really a steady decline with him. So very disappointing.
Decline ever since that contract, man. Just insane, dude. I don't hear that many people talking about him in a negative kind of light. I don't hear it that much. I mean, sure, there's some people, but he's been playing bad for a while. And I remember last year, at the end of last year, I said Eric was better than Michael, and people were calling me stupid. Why is it that when people call me stupid, I'm the one that's always right? Adrian is right. He's always right. Fuck. Just listen to me, damn it.
Yeah, well, people don't like to listen.
I know this fucking team. I just know this fucking team. We both know this fucking team.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But, yeah, I mean, out of all of our linebackers, obviously Kendricks is, playing the worst right now.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I might rather have Don Cherry out there.
Yeah, right.
I bring back Kiko.
I mean, honestly, out of all the guys on our defense right now, Kendrick is probably up there for playing the worst.
Yeah? No, you're not kidding there. You know what? A good game? Vinny Curry. Vinny Curry was all over the place. So, kudos to him. I thought he played magnificently. Other than that, obviously they clamped down the second half, but not a lot of positive from the defense.
No, really, not too many positive things except for the fact that, they were able to make the adjustments at halftime. Yeah. And they came out in the second half. They really dominated. And, that's where this game went wrong. I thought that the D would be able to come out and, dominate the entire game, but they weren't able to do that. I mean, they really just, they got ran over in the first half, and that's what killed them. Allowing the Lions to go down and get 3 touchdowns like that, not able to force one of those to be a field goal in the end, that's what decides this game.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox did come on the second half, but in the first half, he was getting completely shut down by Larry Warford, which was very, very surprising to me. Warford is a guy that had like a really, really good first 2 years in the league, and then he's kind of dropped off since, kind of like Kendricks a little bit, except Warford's probably a better player. And, Cox, man, I didn't see anything from him in the first half. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, but second half, he turned it on.
Yeah, he did. So. Yeah, he was penetrating. Yeah, he was penetrating with ease.
First half, everyone was just asleep on defense. They were still on the bye week. That was just it was really just embarrassing.
Yeah. It literally looked like last year. It was just like bringing back terrible memories, man. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, for a second, I thought that we had Billy Davis back as our defensive coordinator.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
But then I remember that it wasn't Billy Davis there because at halftime, I'm sure that Schwartz did something to get the attention of the defense and turn things around. If it was Billy Davis, there's a chance that the Lions would have put up, 40 points on us, 45 points.
All right, so this is where I want you to tell everybody in Philadelphia to calm down. Because you and we've been playing fucking therapy ever since this loss. Like, we have the group text that we do. We got other people that texting us. We got to tell everyone to relax. Tell everyone in Philadelphia to calm down.
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, we came into this season thinking that we get 6 to 8 wins, and all of a sudden we open up the season 3-0, and people's expectations just become very high and outrageous in some sense. You just have to look at the situation. I mean, this is still the same team, except for the change at quarterback a week before the season that we thought we were going to have. So the fact that we're sitting here at 3-1, you have to look at it in a positive way, and you just have to pretend that one loss came against the Steelers or something. And if that loss had come against the Steelers, and say we would have beat the Lions and we would have beat the Browns and beat the Bears, then we would be sitting in the same exact position. So, it's the NFL. This happens. Like you said, even the great teams suffer bad losses like this. There's a reason that the Patriots don't go undefeated each year, even though they have Tom Brady. It's because you're going to have a bad game here and there. But the encouraging thing is that, the Eagles could have very easily laid down in this game and just let the Lions beat them up. But they fought back. They actually took the lead and had a good shot to win. But the guy can't hold on to the football at the end of the game. Ball bounces the Lions' way, and they win the game. So, it just the Eagles have to put this one behind them big time. Forget about it, and they have to really focus on the Redskins.
Yeah, they really have to beat the Redskins next week. That's for sure. And I'll say this: the first show that EDP and I did together, that Mondays with EDP, the new thing we're doing. He and I were like, we weren't talking down the Eagles, even though people interpreted that as that way. We were just being realistic. And, my thing was, I wanted to see how this team would perform when they didn't play well. Because, great teams, they win games when they don't play well. Today, the Eagles did not play well. They lost the game. This shit happens. And I had people commenting me, telling me, well, you can't predict when they're not going to play well. How do you know they're not going to play well this season? Every team goes through stretches where they don't play well. Again, Adrian was right. Jeez, dude, we took a lot of shit, man. We took a lot of heat. And I was right. Again.
Yeah, you're right. You can't – the thing is, you can't predict when we're not going to play well. And obviously no one predicted that this was going to be the game where the Eagles didn't play well. It just happened to be this game. We did bounce back in a positive way, but, in the end, it was a dumb fumble that cost us the game. It's unfortunate because you and I we were kind of texting before that Matthews fumble, like, wow, Wentz really showed us a lot. She really battled through the adversity, and we were thinking that he was going to be able to come out with the victory in this one. And, I think people will have to look back at this game and really remember what Wentz did because, he almost led us to a victory when our defense got annihilated in the first half, and he brought us all the way back. So I think if the Eagles would have won this game, I think the outlook would have been a lot different this week. So I would just suggest that you don't even tune in to talk radio this week because
I never do anyway.
Yeah, I rarely do. Sometimes I do, and then I'll turn it off after 5 minutes because people are making ridiculous comments. So, people were probably talking about the Super Bowl after the win over the Steelers, and now they're probably saying that we might get 7 or 8 wins and we'll miss out on the playoffs. So,
yeah, on Post Game Live on Comcast Sportsnet, there was a poll, and it was how far are the Eagles going to go this year, and over 70% said reach the Super Bowl. Yeah. Facts.
I wonder what that poll would be like now.
Yeah, well, this is Philadelphia. This is what we do. We're up and down. We're up and down. We're
it's like an earthquake every week.
Earthquakes, yeah.
Got to read
it. Seriously though, Wentz was amazing today, and again, that's the silver lining to take out of this game. Wentz looked really fucking good. He started out 17 of 19. Was he 19 of 21? Whatever it was,
yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, so like you said, got to take away the positives in that, and that we finally have a quarterback again that's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I think his air yards increased. He had a couple nice throws down the field, although there are a lot of those screens and all that bullshit that's going to lower it. But yeah, you saw you heard about that, right?
Yeah.
It's
but it's really smart the way that Doug Peterson is designing the plays because the Eagles really don't have the talent at wide receiver. So they've got to use gadget plays like that to get yards. So you got to, do whatever it is that works.
How about that one catch by Nelson Aguilar? So like he drops the easy ones, but then he comes up with something like that, like strong hands to be able to hang on to that ball. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he's turning into a very frustrating player. That's for sure. Yeah, it's like, the one thing I would like to see with Aguilar is I would like to see him use his his height a little bit more to his advantage and go up and battle for balls. He's just really being a wimp at this point. He's just got to go up, especially even the Wentz's interception at the end of the game. I would like to see him at least do something, try to knock the ball away from the defender.
That's very true. No, you're very. I mean, he was kind of getting held a little.
Yeah, I will give him that. But
he was getting a little held a little bit. But I'm not mad that they didn't call that. They just
right.
It's the end of the game. Like that's just how it's officiated. Like I understand Philadelphia's, all fucking. I mean, they were pissed. I mean, I was doing the Philly influencer, the social media thing where I post all the videos and. Dude, a lot of comments were PI question mark, PI holding, blah blah blah. I mean, yeah. So, when you're biased, your eyes tell you a different story than they should.
Yeah, I mean, that late in the game and just the spot that the game was in, it would have been a really tough call for the officials to make because obviously it really would have gave the Eagles the game. They would have probably won the game because they would have got a field goal and won if it was a pass interference call. So unless it was blatant, they really can't make that call.
Yeah, well, Caleb would have missed it anyway.
I thought he was going to miss a few of those 50 yards today. But somehow he put it through. Thank God it was in a dome.
Oh, man. All right. I got nothing else. I don't know what else to talk about. Just frustrating, man. You got anything else for final thoughts?
No, not really, man. Let's just on to next week, really. At least we got the bye week out of the way, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. But, maybe it's a good thing we got the bye week out of the way that they came out and played in the first half.
Whew, man. Again, can't say I was surprised. So, I really don't have a final thought. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not taking this loss as bad as I thought I would, though. I'm not numb as I should be right now.
Yeah, well, it's going to hurt a little bit more if the Cowboys are able to pull this game out. Yeah. That's for sure.
Fucking motherfuckers.
Yeah,
well, dude, Dallas fans are just like ridiculous with Dak Prescott. But that's another story.
Yeah.
I think maybe that'll be the topic for EDP and I tomorrow. Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, who's better?
It's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, because, All right. All right. Anything else you want to say or you want to end this?
Well, let's end it right here.
All right. We're out. For Mike Owens, I'm Adrian. FedQ. Don't jump off the bridge. Everything is okay. The Eagles are still 3-1. And guess what? They're still the best team in the division. They're still going to win the division. It's going to happen. Trust me. I'm always right. We're out.
Later.